wife successfully made me dalgona coffee. Okay, it looked a lot better just now, but just that I mixed them up already. Smooth. Okay, round 2 of Q&A. Let's see. What do I have there? Hi Bobby, why you have so few subscribers? I think it's because I have a natural born bitch face, and I mean, of course I wish I had more, but that's just how it is. 330e, love in first sight, love at first sight. Again, it's a very nice car to drive. I've had friends who had the 330e with zero issues. They love it. The handling, the power, the specifications are very high spec, almost filled to the brim, the specs. Of course, there are also people who face issues, so it's a give and take. Alright, still a fantastic car. Don't forget this. Malaysia get to buy this car at half the price. Right? In global markets, the 330e is the same price as the 335i or the 340i. Yeah, it's supposed to be 450 or 480,000 ringgit, but we got it for 200 plus because it's hybrid. Alright, so you're getting a bargain. Alright, I wonder how long will an Inspira last. 2014, 46,000 cannot be that expensive. Inspira, how can Inspira 2014 Inspira? Yeah, you can get one for, you can get one for 35,000. So it's not 45. Some people try to sell 41, 43, but most of the cars are 35, 34. So that's the price of an Inspira. Alright, so he's asking a 2014 Inspira versus a year 2020 Myvi, which is 55,000. Wonder how long will the Inspira last? More or less the same as the Myvi, I guess. Myvi is a good car, but I'll pay 30 over for an Inspira. Alright. Hi Bobby, I am considering between these two cars, a Proton X70 or a GT86. A 2013 GT86 versus a Proton X70 2019. I only drive the car myself, not a family car. So, of course, it's the GT86. Again, buy a car from your heart, not from your brain. X70 is a fantastic car, but you're not a family man. You just want a car that you drive for yourself. Of course, you're going to buy the GT86 now. If it's not now, when? Right? You're not married, you don't have kids. Get the GT86. Somehow, stopping me is about the maintenance of the car. It's a Toyota with a Subaru engine. Both brands are indestructible. There's nothing to take care of. Just run the car. You have some parts that you need to replace. Just replace it. It's not going to be expensive. Just get the 86. Enjoy the car. Come Enduro. Go Toge. You will have a totally different lifestyle. You know, by joining the club of 86 clubs, right? Joining driving people like us. Get the 86. All right, it's a fantastic car. All right. Can you comment about Merc E-Class compared with other brands in the same category? Now the E-Class, I'm guessing he's asking the current generation E-Class, has the most beautiful interior in the entire segment, even compared to the new A6, alright, with all the LCD screens and all that. It has the most beautiful interior, even when you compare to the 5 Series or the A6. alright, or the Volvo S90, but it is the worst built, meaning they are very smart with how they mix and match the materials. They use very beautiful open pore wood, but on the door panel is leather being put on top of hard plastic straight away. Versus an Audi interior or a BMW, on the door cards they would be using those injection mold polyurethane, the soft touch materials, and then in terms of fit and finish, both A6 and 5 Series is a cut above the E-Class when it comes to molding points of plastics. And when you open the lids, you touch inside whether it's sharp or not, all these kind of little things, right? The 5 Series and the A6 is one cut above the E-Class, but the E-Class interior is just aesthetically beautiful. It is just beautiful. And then when you sit at the back of the car, the rear passenger seat, you saw the aircon vents, right? Try and knock the housing. Is a very, very rough, hard plastic. So the Volvo S90 wasn't built as precise as the A6, but the materials are fantastic. The materials that they use, real aluminium strips, real leather, real wood, everything real. It's a fantastic interior as well. Then when it comes to soundproofing, I would say the A6 has to be the best, and then the 5 Series and the E-Class is almost more or less, maybe the 5 Series slightly better than the E-Class, and then the last one will be the Volvo S90 in terms of soundproofing. When it comes to ride quality, the 5 Series definitely is the best in terms of how plush it feels when you're in the car, and then there will be the A6 will come second, and then third will be the E-Class and the S90. Alright? When it comes to handling, how the car handles, I would say the 5 Series and the E-Class both are there on top. The 5 Series, yes, is really, really nice to drive than the E-Class, and then I would say the third place would be the S90. The A6 also drives really well, but it doesn't feel as athletic. But granted, this is a segment that athleticism shouldn't be high on the criteria, because it is the big German D segment. Yes, they call it C, but we Malaysians would regard these as D segment, because in our mind D segment cars are the Camry size and all that, right? I cannot say, even though in Germany these cars are considered as C segment, but if I say C segment, it would be a bit of a mismatch, because we see Accord Camry as the kind of size of cars as the 5 Series E-Class. Alright? And then my biggest complaint always with the current C-Class and E-Class is the fact that in the right-hand drive market in this generation, they totally forgotten about the footrest. I am appalled by this, because you just can't drive comfortably with a comfortable footrest area, footwell area, where your left foot can be rested nicely on the footrest, and then you have room in your footwell, which in a long distance drive is very, very important. So these things are what the both the 5 Series, the A6 or the Volvo S90 did really, really well. Sitting position and all that. And in terms of when you're sitting in your seat, the comfort and all that, Volvo has the best seats, definitely, front passenger. Then the 5 Series, E-Class and A6 are more or less the same. But when it comes to the door cards, the E-Class door cards are, what I mean by just now I mentioned about the build quality. Now I'm talking about how it is sculpted for you to put your arms and all that, right? The E-Class is right up there with the A6 and the 5 Series. The worst door card design is actually the Volvo one, where when you put your arm would drop. They just didn't extend the armrest long enough on the door so that whatever your height is, your arms can be rested comfortably. Most of the time I notice my arm keeps dropping off the armrest, which is a bit of a tiring thing. Okay, and then yeah, that's my gripe with the E-Class. And then it is already not the prettiest car in class, and Mercedes decided to make it even uglier in the facelift. So I don't know, man. Rear seats. In terms of rear seats, the 5 Series has the best rear seats. Then the E-Class and the A6 is more or less the same, and the S90 has the worst rear seats. Even though the S90 has the most spacious rear passenger compartment. Now, when I say it's the least comfortable, what do I mean by that? You see, it's a different ideology. We are adults. I'm an adult. So when I test these cars, right, I will sit at the back of the rear seat, and then I notice the 5 Series bench, the rear bench is full length. So I get full thigh support underneath my thighs. I get full support. Same goes with the E-Class, because the E-Class is supposed to serve as the taxis of Europe. Alright? But the Volvo S90 doesn't have a full length rear seat bench for your thighs, whereas it has a lot of leg room. Why? Because Volvo doesn't cater to the taxi market at all. Nobody buys Volvo S90 for taxis in Europe. They buy 5 Series, they buy E-Class. Alright? Which means a lot of adults will sit at the back. But the Volvo S90 was designed for family use. So a 30-plus-year-old guy, near 40, I'll be driving. My kids will be seated at the back. Any one of you with kids, you will realize this. If your rear bench is too long, your kids' legs will be straight on the bench because they are not tall enough to bend their knees around the bench. So Volvo designed their rear bench to not be so full length for the S90 so that kids can sit on it and they can fold their legs. Same goes with the XC40 as well, if you notice that. Alright? Yeah. Kids, I mean those who are 6, 7, 8 years old. Alright? So I don't know whether I answer you, but my pick of this segment would be the 5 Series. And but in Malaysia, if you want to compare specs, performance, power, blah blah blah, specification, everything in, right, nobody beats the Volvo. It's full spec, full to the brim. Alright? Yeah. Alright. I wonder how's the maintenance of Continental cars. If you buy new, it's free. Everybody offers free service now. Especially BMW. Free this, free that, free everything, free. BMW just gives everything free. Mercedes-Benz servicing costs used to be the highest amongst, when you compare BMW, Volvo and all that. I think they are still the highest, but who knows? Now they have a lot of promo going on. They might throw you some vouchers for servicing. And Volvo, they don't give you free service, but they sell you a VSA package. So when you buy the car, you pay another 9,000 ringgit, which I paid back then for the XC90. You pay another 9,000 ringgit for the VSA, and then your full 5 years service is all included in there. But now, they are also giving out VSA for free. So, yeah. Post-warranty. Let's talk about post-warranty. Post-warranty, I have no information on all these brand new plug-in hybrids, how the servicing costs would be like. Alright, but Continental servicing cost has been on the drop. That means they don't charge as crazy a price now. And after year 2012 or 2013, European cars' reliability has been exceptional. While the Japanese brands and the Korean brands have moved more and more towards CAN bus-based electrical systems in cars. What does CAN bus means? I mentioned in a lot of my other videos, where your cars, all your components are connected to a central ECU, and then through the central ECU there is an interface that comes back out to your controls, which means from your control you'll be able to control different things in the cars through the center screen. Because back then, why people say Japanese cars are simple, are reliable, because most of them runs on isolated circuitry loops. You have a button on your door, it controls your window, that's it. When you pull the button, it doesn't go to the central ECU and then come back out to your window module to operate your window, right? Those that goes to a central ECU and comes back out, those are what we call CAN bus systems. So more and more Japanese cars are moving towards CAN bus systems, whereas the European cars, they have been using it since the 90s, and they've gotten really good at it, more and more reliable. There are less and less issues with European cars these days, right? So yeah, and you're asking what's the benefit of CAN bus system. Look at Proton. X70 runs on CAN bus, so you can tell the central ECU something, and then it will initiate the command. So you can say, "Hi Proton, switch on, lower the window." Then the car will do it for you. You can't do that in an Accord, in a Camry, in a Civic, because all these cars don't run on CAN bus yet. All right. What's your opinion on a used Honda Civic 1.5 versus a BMW 318? Now the BMW 318, that 1.5 liter 3-cylinder engine is a piece of shit. Alright, I do not know why BMW even decided to use this engine. You know, that 3-cylinder engine is so low on power, it doesn't give any benefit apart from going through UNECE fuel consumption test with a lower figure and a lower tax bracket, that's it, right? It produces what, 130 horsepower. The Civic would flash you and ask you, bugger off the fast lane while it overtakes you. That's on theory, but actually when you're driving the car, it feels pretty nippy as well. But granted, it is still a 3 Series. It is still rear-wheel drive. The F30 is still one of those cars whereby you have advanced systems in the car with the handbrake, rear-wheel drive, and in the hands of and the fundamental handling of the car is still way superior than the Civic. So if you ask me which one would I buy, you point a gun to me, Civic 1.5 versus a 318, I will still get the 318. Alright, I may be able to tune the engine, but the fact is I get to enjoy my drive in a rear-wheel drive BMW, a lightweight 3-cylinder engine up front, and then I can pull my handbrake if I want to in the rain, just to have fun. Alright, but the Civic is a car that the Civic has no flaws. Put aside the early batches that breaks down, this car has no flaws. You understand or not? It's good looking, even though it's a bit Japanese robotic kind of design, right? But it's good looking, no doubts about it. Very, very spacious. Front and rear passenger is spacious. The center console is brilliantly designed. The engine is powerful enough, 170 over horsepower. The handling is decent. Highway cruising is decent. It has a horrible infotainment screen. You can't even call it infotainment. that screen, the interface, blah, is horrible. And then the rear seats are too low for old people. That's it. But it's a no-brainer. This car is a no-brainer. Alright? So, yeah. Which continental European car brand is the most reliable one? Recent records. Let's see. So good. Definitely not Ford. Not Volkswagen. But to me, it's not the logo. It's the individual car models. Alright? See, I had a 2009 Audi S4. It is the first time Audi had a supercharged engine, and they nailed it. This engine has no issues. It is one of the most reliable Audi engines in the past 10 years. Alright? At the same time, they have what looks like a simple 2-liter turbocharged engine that they royally fucked it up. Alright? And then I would say BMWs are very reliable these days, but you have people who face issues. Now, whatever that I say, there will be clusters of people who face problems. Like the current generation E-Class. The E-Class is supposed to be the most reliable car in the segment because it's predominantly designed for taxis in Europe, right? But the E200 engine that we had over here, the local assembly one, there are people who face issues, right? But of course the taxis in Europe, they don't use the E200, they use the diesel engine, right? Which presumably, no issues. So it's largely dependent on different batches, different engine specs, and different models. You cannot say because it has an Audi brand, all Audis are unreliable, because for what we know, different batches have different reliabilities, ratings, and all that. So again, I would say they've gotten really good at it, but one group to avoid is the FCA group. All right, anything that comes out from FCA, the Fiat Chrysler group, they still suck at it, right? Everything they do still suck. If you're talking about French cars like Peugeot, their new models, no issues. Renault has been one of the most reliable car brands out there. Even though the British likes to laugh at them, the Brits can't match the French cars' reliability, to be honest. I would say, to generalize things, the Italians and the British would be behind. The French would be sort of near the British, around the same. But different thing is the French car makers, they make cheap, simple cars. The British car makers, they make complicated, sophisticated cars. So it's meant to be unreliable because their cars are so complicated. Alright? And the Germans, of course, really good at it. So, did I answer your question? I'm not sure. Because I cannot compare a simple car like a Vios versus a complicated car like a Lexus LS. Even though one is a Lexus, high rating, one is a Toyota, but the Vios is a very, very simple car. It's just a metal body with some carpets, 4 seats on the rails, a simple 4-cylinder engine, and a simple proven 4-speed gearbox, or CVT now. Pop, done. No other things in the cars, right? Compared to a Lexus LS, air suspension, sensors here and there, all these things. So the more complicated your car is, the less reliable it is. Okay? And I wouldn't call it reliable, I just say more upkeep. The same goes if you buy a bungalow with 10 rooms, 10 air conditioners, 4 fridge, 2 upstairs, 2 downstairs, and you have 8 TV screens, you have 8 bathrooms, 8 heater, versus a small house with 2 rooms and 2 bathrooms. Which one would you think is more reliable, right? Your small house will be more reliable because you have less things in it, because you are poor. Sorry, that's what I mean, right? You buy more things into your house, more things will break down. Same goes with an expensive car. Alright? Hi Bobby, can you share your thoughts on fresh grads buying a car? What car should they buy? If they were to opt for a used car, which is the best car for them to invest in? I like this word. Cars is an investment. Right? For those people who don't agree this, if you don't drive your car, you think you can make your money. You can go to work. Right? You can have your other investments. No. Okay. This is arguing. Now got Grab car. So my argument is a moot point. Sorry. This coffee is so strong. Okay. If you are a fresh grad and you just want a car to move around, I would suggest you buy a used car. Okay? You guys might watch my other video and think, oh, Bobby don't like the Axia. Hey, but if you bought a used Viva, used Axia, brilliant! Right? Because these cars are meant to be cheap. These cars are meant to be used. These cars are meant to serve you, and if you use the lowest price to buy them, good for you. Now, because he didn't give me a budget, so I do not have a budget to gauge on, right? So if you are someone who's a fresh grad, where your family members or your parents will support you in getting a car, if it is a car with loan, then I would presume you'll be buying something about 40,000, 50,000, right? Then you can buy a used Honda City or something, okay, which is a very good car to use, or a Vios, right? That is the safe choice with a 4-door, blah 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 blah. All right. But if your family members, if you come from a more well-off family, and your family is willing to buy a car off for you, so that you don't have to pay the installments, again 40,000-50,000 again, I would suggest you go and buy a BMW Z3. Yeah, it may sound ridiculous, but hear me out. People who own Z3s, they take care of them, right? Secondly, it is a cabriolet. I'm not saying this because it looks cool. Yes, it does look cool, but if you are a car guy, you can openly tell people. You don't even have to lie to tell people that, oh, I work part-time and bought my Z3, or I save up money. No, you can just openly tell your friends that, yeah, my parents gave me a budget, 40,000-50,000, and I picked a Z3. And I'm gonna give you the rationale here, right? Yes, it may cost a bit here and there to fix the car, but at the end of the day, after driving it for 7 years, 8 years, you can still sell the car at 40,000-50,000, or maybe more, 60. You can make money off your car. Compared to now, you buy a Myvi or something, and then after 5 years, it's going to depreciate to 20,000. After 6-7 years, it's going to depreciate to less than 20,000. That time when you need to change your car, when you sell your current car, your current Myvi or whatever, you're left with 10K down payment. Where if you had your Z3, first of all, you can drive for a way longer time until you get married. That means from here to the point you get married, you can have only one car, because it serves your social needs, right? It's cool, it's nice to drive. Yes, you need to spend some money to take care of it, but it won't be ridiculous. You won't spend 15,000-20,000 to fix it, no. Just find one that is well taken care of and take care of it well, okay? Change your oil. Oil changes are not expensive at all, right? And by the time you need to sell your car to get a family car, when you sell your Z3, you get 50,000. 50K cash. You can even drop your booking for a house by then, if you want to. So it is a very good start. Now, not only that, if you join the Z4 groups, if you join some drop top groups, you get to meet people that are not your age group. See, the problem with fresh grads is that you have a bunch of friends from college, you know, you all watch porn together, you all play Dota, you all play games, whatever, you all come out together, and then you all work in companies, you know, one work in banking, one work in whatever, and then you all meet, and then what's your topic? You bitch about your colleagues, you bitch about your boss, you celebrate when this friend gets an increment of $300, or this friend found a new job, blah 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 blah. That's your circle. And when you are in your office, you are most likely sit with colleagues of your same rank, because all of you get paid 2,000-3,000 ringgit. That's the kind of lunch you can afford, compared to the higher level staffs where their pay is probably 7,000, 8,000 ringgit. They are eating different lunch than you do. Do note that, alright? They may be going to have sushi and all that, which you can't afford. So you will be sort of stuck in your own circle. But if you're a car guy and you dare to try, you buy a car like this, You'll be mixing with different kinds of people. Suddenly in your circle, you may have a 45-year-old friend, 48-year-old friend, 50-year-old dato. Serious. This is a real life case. Alright? So, yeah. But, of course, it is again, I mentioned that only for those where their families are okay and the parents can give them 40-50 grand budget to buy a car. I have a staff, my ex-staff, he came from a rather okay family. His first car, an MX-5. The first gen, parents pay cash, 40 grand for it. How much is the first gen MX-5 worth now? 70k. If you use the 40k to buy a Myvi, how much is the Myvi worth now? From back then, 2009 or 2010, it's worth nothing, right? So that's what I meant. So, but if you're on your own, if you come from another city, another town, you come to KL, you're a fresh grad, you need to pay for rent and all that. You're by yourself. Then of course, this is something you don't even need to consider because it's out of your capabilities. Then you just buy a used car to use it first. Alright? Yeah. Or you use Grab. Claim your company. Okay, I need your advice here. Currently I own a Polo TSI 2011. I would like to trade in and get a new X50 when it is launched. May I know if it is a good idea or not? Of course it is a good idea. First of all, nobody knew what's the price of the X50 when it arrives. And the car looks good. Presumably it will be very high spec, and anything is a good idea. I mean, why not? The Geelys are good cars, man. Yeah, provided you want to be more daring. But yeah, X50, why not? Hi Bobby, can you review inside out of your repeat? Oh, my Aston. I would love to. The problem is every day is this kind of sunshine, and then my parking lot is really dark and I can't drive my car out and do a review there. I will be in violation of any MCO because we can only go out and do necessary things, and a car review might not be one. Yes, I can do it near my condo, yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I'll do it. Definitely, it's something I want to do. Hi Bobby, glad you picked the Inspira over the Axia. Driving a 2011 2-liter. I bought in 2013. 2 sets of spark plugs, 2 sets of brake pads, aircon blower. It is still running well in stock condition. Your brain and heart thingy struck a valid point. More like, if not now, when to move forward, blah blah. Okay, this is like a, okay, he's a kind message. Give him a love. Hi Bobby, I'm considering between F30 and F10. F10. If you are considering between F30 and F10, is the F10. F10 is built to a different standard as the F30. See, the F30 is a 3 series platform. The F10 is a 7 series platform. So they are built very, very differently. The F10 will last longer than the F30. Of course, it's not as exciting to drive as the F30 because the F10 is huge. But get the F10. And if you can, get the 3-liter turbo. It's a nice car. Oh yes, I would rather get a 330i versus a 330e. Of course, we would get a 330i. Or back then it was called 328i, 2-liter turbo. Yes, fantastic car. For the first part, the guy has a 160k budget. I really do recommend a pre-reg 2018 Passat. I'll come to that later. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Okay. So he's recommending 160k budget to go for the Passat. I would say no, because all of a sudden, you wouldn't know when Volkswagen will suddenly sell the Passat at 130,000 and then you bought at 160. No lah, no need pre-reg, just get a used one, right? It's a fantastic car, but the Passat, the problem with the Passat, the first batch was alright, suddenly there is a batch that is not alright, suddenly there is a batch that is alright, suddenly there's a batch with crap shit tires, suddenly there's a batch that just breaks down, suddenly there's a batch that's alright, and then suddenly there is a batch with poor brakes and all that. It's just inconsistent. So my gripe with the locally assembled Volkswagens is that they are not consistent with their quality. So yeah, I have friends with their Passat are perfectly okay. I have friends with their Passats keep breaking down. In fact, in our group, there are 3 Passats that are just in and out of the showroom. There is another one that has been tuned to stage 2 with no issues. So yeah. Hi Bobby, I'm a teenager who just got my license. Should I take a risk and go for E36 or go for something more reliable like a Satrian Neo? 20k budget. 20k budget. The thing is this, if you go for a Satrian Neo, most likely is already rather used, you know, and it's no longer a question of whether the Satrian Neo is reliable or not, because both cars are already rather old, right? And but if you go for an E36, it is largely dependent on whether the previous owner has changed a lot of new parts into the car or not, because the E36 is a car that is easily 25 years old. Alright, so of course I know there are very well refurbished E36s out there, but they don't come cheap. So your budget of 20,000 might not get you a very well taken care of E36. But this is just my assumption, alright? It is my assumption. Like Con, he got a lovely E39, but he still spends some money on it. Now, if you're a teenager who just got your license, means your parents are doing fine. Your parents can give you a 20k budget to let you choose a car. If you pick the E36, you get to learn a lot of name of car parts. I assure you, you will. And you get to mix with BMW groups and all that. But these are not just the only cars, but if you're looking at the E36, let me see. I don't think the E90 is that far away though. Cheapest first. Okay, your budget 20k, you can get an E90. A 320i BMW E90, 22,000, 22,000, 22,000, 23,000. Get the E90. It's a lot more reliable. Hey, fuck, you're asking E36. That means there's E46 as well. And you can get E90. Get the E90. Get the E90. Alright? It's way more reliable than the E36 or E46. Alright? E36 and E46 sits in the 90s era of European cars, where European cars get the notorious reputation of unreliability. Why? That was the era where Europe suddenly feel they need to take care of the world, right? So they have a lot of rules and regulations suddenly coming out. Your plastics have to be biodegradable. That's why they suddenly go and scramble and find plastics that are biodegradable, and then they biodegrade too soon. Under the sun, they all melt, right? And then they need sensors, O2 sensors here, sensors there to make sure your car saves fuel, don't emit too much, and then the sensors fail, and the car's Christmas light. That's the 90s. Alright? Hi Bobby, Toyota Rush or BRV? Or should I wait for Geely? Wait for the Geely. Provided you need 7 seats, BRV. Okay? Rush is not bad for what it is, but I won't. I'll just use that budget or the Perodua Arus budget and get a used Hyundai Santa Fe or something. Alright. Hi Bobby, what about Hyundai Tucson 2016? 79,000. Mileage 50,000. Mileage 50,000 and still selling for 80,000. This car so high, man, the value. Let me look for the cheapest Mazda CX-5. Get a Mazda CX-5. Where are you looking at? The 2016 Hyundai Tucson at 80,000 ringgit. 80,000 ringgit. You can get a 2016 CX-5 as well. Get a CX-5, not the Tucson. No, not the Tucson. Get the CX-5. Way better car. Hi Bobby, out of topic here. Will I save a lot of money for future financial or spend and presenting later? Should I save up money for future or spend and think later? I don't know about you, but you want to spend, you spend lah. Right? You save for the future, save, then accident die. Don't worry so much. Make full use of your everyday, but I don't mean fully swipe your credit card today. No, right? You can, if you want to spend money today, spend those in your wallet, not spend those in your card. That's not your money. Alright? Hi Bobby. 2011 640i M Sport package in my mind. Go get it. Get it. It's worth buying. This is a car that used to be 700,000 ringgit. Buy. Hi Bobby, is the E93 a good upgrade from a Myvi? Of course it is! Is the N54 engine? Yes! Get the 3-litre N54. Make sure to check the service records, and then you can get your car, you can book an inspection with Evo Club, and then we will introduce you to Mike Yap. He also has an E92. You're asking E93. Oh, you got taste, man. You got taste. Cabrio. Yes! Get the E93 Cabrio 3-litre. Get that car. Take care of it. This car will serve you fantastically down the road. Alright? The N54 engine, of course, everybody is talking about a high pressure fuel pump and all that. But the thing is this, the first batch has issues with high pressure fuel pump. But subsequently, the parts that BMW makes already address the issue. So if you buy a new high pressure fuel pump and replace it, it won't be as shitty as the old one. And very likely, that owner would have already had his high pressure fuel pump fail, and he would have changed it already. But nonetheless, do reserve some money or credit card to get your car up to spec, you know. Get the E93 N54. That's a fantastic upgrade from a Myvi. Go. Alright? And I can't wait to see you in your car. Oof, salute. Zibun. Hi Bobby, is Proton Suprema S still worth buying in 2020? And is this car good for students? Of course! It's a good car. It's a good looking car, fantastic handling, comfortable, and just touch up, fix it, and it's a fantastic car. See, buying a used Proton Suprema is better than buying a Myvi. You will know it when you're driving on the highway at 160 km per hour. Good choice, Shahimi. Alright. Blah 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 blah. Is my video already too long? I'm not sure how long I've been talking. You remind me of Scotty Kilmer. No! I'm the exact opposite of Scotty Kilmer. Scotty Kilmer is a guy who clickbaits people into clicking his videos, and then all he does is, buy the Toyota! Why buy this? Buy Toyota! Buy! If like that, then every car is the same on the road. 4-cylinder, 5-speed gearbox, bulletproof, 4 doors. That's it. Every single car will be like that. Mankind will not improve if everybody behaves like Scotty Kilmer, or what Scotty Kilmer claims in his channel, because I don't believe he's that kind of person. Alright? He gets his audience by laughing at people who buy Mercedes Benzes that breaks down, blah 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 blah. Hey, cars break down, right? Some people love bungee jumping. It's as if you're running a channel and say that, why you bungee jump? You jump down and not come up. The reason humankind progress is because we take risks, right? It's like telling people, why you go outer space for what? I'm the exact opposite of Scotty Kilmer, alright? But I don't dare bungee jump. No. Blah 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 blah. Alright, that's it. That's the comments. A lot of them. Keep them coming. And this is another episode of Q&A. And if you have any other problems you want to ask, you want some bad buying guides, come to me. Cheers.